We all know women can be a mystery. The way they act in relationships often leaves us scratching our heads. One of the most confusing patterns that men often face is this: women seem to be drawn to men who don't value them. It's frustrating. You might think, why would a woman want to be with someone who doesn't appreciate her? But the truth is, it's deeper than you might think. Women aren't just looking for a man who gives them everything they want. They're searching for something more, something that taps into their deeper instincts and psychology. In today's dating world, women have access to plenty of options, so the game has changed. If you're playing by the old rules, always being available, always putting her first, you might be setting yourself up for failure. So why is it that women seem to pull away from the men who treat them the best and chase after the ones who ignore them or undervalue them? It's not about you not being enough, it's about how they view relationships and the dynamic that comes with it. Understanding female psychology in the modern dating scene means seeing things from their perspective. It's about knowing what they truly desire, even if it seems counterintuitive. When you stop valuing a woman too soon, when you show that you're not desperate for her validation, that's when her interest peaks. Why? Because it speaks to her subconscious mind and emotional needs that are far deeper than what meets the eye. Now, I'm going to break this down. This isn't a game or manipulation. It's understanding how attraction works in a world where everything is constantly shifting. Women, like anyone, want what they can't easily have. If you're always available, always eager, always chasing, you've already lost. Let's dive deeper into why this is and what you can do to shift the dynamic in your favor. 1. The power of scarcity. Women are drawn to scarcity. It's a basic human instinct. Think about it. If you walk into a store and see shelves stocked with products, you'll glance over them without much thought. But if the shelves are almost empty, your attention is immediately captured. That feeling of scarcity triggers a desire to have what's hard to get. The same principle applies to relationships. When you make yourself too available or too eager to please, you instantly lose your value in her eyes. Women, on a deep psychological level, are wired to seek out what's rare. They're not looking for someone who will shower them with attention at the drop of a hat. They want a man who has options, who doesn't revolve his world around them. If she knows that you're always going to be there, no matter what, she loses interest. You're no longer a prize. You've become an accessory to her life, not a key figure in it. Scarcity doesn't mean you ignore her or play games. It's about creating a healthy distance that sparks her curiosity. Let her know you have your own life, your own ambitions, and you're not going to bend over backward just to make her happy. This creates a dynamic where she has to work for your attention, and that builds tension and attraction. When she senses that your time is valuable, that you have other things going on, she'll feel a stronger pull towards you. If you can master this principle of scarcity, it can shift the power dynamic in your favor. Don't be predictable. Don't give her everything at once. Hold back just enough so she feels like there's more to discover, more to earn. This will keep her interested and invested in the relationship. 2. Emotional unavailability. One of the most misunderstood concepts in modern dating is emotional availability. Men often think that to win a woman over, they have to be completely open and emotionally available, constantly sharing their feelings and being there for her when she needs it. However, this can backfire. The more emotionally available you are, the more you risk overwhelming her and ultimately pushing her away. Why does this happen? It's simple. Women are attracted to strength, confidence, and stability, not desperation or emotional dependency. When you make yourself too available emotionally, you're giving away too much too soon. It makes you seem needy, and women are often repelled by this. They don't want to feel like they have to take care of your emotions or provide validation for you. Instead, they want someone who can stand on his own, someone who is emotionally self-sufficient. Being emotionally unavailable doesn't mean you shut off your feelings or act cold. It's about being in control of your emotions and not letting her become the focal point of your emotional well-being. When you're emotionally stable and you don't constantly need her reassurance or validation, you automatically become more attractive. It's a subtle power move. It shows that you have your own life, your own priorities, and that you're not relying on her for your happiness. This doesn't mean playing games or ignoring her when she's in need, but it does mean setting boundaries and not letting your emotions dictate the direction of the relationship. If you want to stand out and get her to chase you, be emotionally steady and not overly accessible. Let her come to you, and when she does, make sure you're not laying all your emotions on the table. 3. The thrill of the chase. The chase is a fundamental part of human attraction, and it's something that's deeply embedded in the way relationships develop. Women, by nature, love the excitement of pursuing something or someone. It taps into their innate desire for challenge and accomplishment. When you become too easy to get, the thrill disappears. And without that thrill, interest wanes. If you want a woman to genuinely want you, you need to make her chase you. This doesn't mean you play games or lead her on. Instead, you create a dynamic where she has to work for your attention and affection. When you make it clear that you're not desperate to win her over and that you have other interests and priorities, it sparks something inside her. She'll start pursuing you, not just because she likes you, but because she wants to prove that she can win you over. Think of it this way. When something is too easy to get, it loses its value. If you're always there, always available, always catering to her, it's no longer a challenge. She'll start to take you for granted. But when you make her work for your time and attention, it makes every moment spent together more meaningful and exciting. You're not just giving her everything on a silver platter, you're allowing her to earn it. The chase is exciting because it taps into her competitive side, her need to feel desired, and her curiosity. When she feels like she has to compete for your attention, her attraction grows. This doesn't mean ignoring her or playing hard to get for the sake of it. It's about maintaining an air of mystery and keeping your own life full of pursuits and goals that don't revolve solely around her. The thrill of the chase isn't just about playing games. It's about understanding the deeper psychological dynamics of attraction. When you're not readily available and you make her work for your attention, you make her feel like you're a catch, and she'll pursue you because of it. 4. The role of confidence. Confidence is one of the most attractive qualities a man can have, but not just any kind of confidence. It's about having a quiet, self-assured confidence that doesn't need to be flaunted. Women are instinctively drawn to men who exude this type of confidence because it signals that you are someone who doesn't need validation from others to feel good about himself. When a man has confidence, he doesn't worry about what others think of him, including women. He knows his worth, and he doesn't try to prove it. This is incredibly appealing to women who are often exhausted by men who are constantly seeking their approval. It's important to understand that confidence isn't about being arrogant or conceited. It's about being comfortable in your own skin and not feeling the need to overcompensate. Confident men don't chase women or beg for attention. They allow the relationship to develop naturally. They don't bend over backward to please someone or change who they are to gain approval. Confidence is about setting standards and not compromising on what you want in a relationship. It's about knowing that you deserve respect and the best, and you won't settle for anything less. The beauty of confidence lies in its subtlety. Women notice it when it's there, even if it's not spoken about directly. It's in the way you carry yourself, in the way you handle challenges, and in the way you communicate. Confident men don't need to chase or impress. They let their actions speak for themselves. And this is what makes them irresistibly attractive. In relationships, women are looking for a man who can make them feel secure, both emotionally and physically. Confidence creates that security. When she sees that you are steady, strong, and self-reliant, she will naturally feel drawn to you. So, focus on building your own confidence and becoming the man who doesn't need to prove himself. The less you chase, the more she will chase you. 5. The art of independence. Independence is a trait that many women find incredibly attractive, and yet it's something that is often overlooked. Women want a man who has his own life, his own goals, passions, and priorities. A man who isn't constantly dependent on her for emotional support, validation, or attention is a man who has real value. Women don't want to feel like they are the center of your universe. They want a man who is self-sufficient, driven, and able to stand on his own. When you show her that your world doesn't revolve around her, you create an intriguing dynamic. You become someone who is busy, someone who has his own dreams, and someone who has a life outside of the relationship. This doesn't mean you ignore her or act distant, but it means that you don't let the relationship define you. Your independence speaks volumes about your strength and self-worth. Women are attracted to men who are capable of taking care of themselves and who are secure in their own identity. When you're independent, you show that you don't need her to feel complete. This gives her the space to miss you and want to be with you, not because she feels obligated, but because she genuinely enjoys your company. Independence also creates a sense of mystery. When you're not always available and you have a busy life, she will naturally wonder what you're doing, who you're with, and how you're spending your time. This curiosity keeps her engaged and interested. But if you make her your entire focus, she'll lose respect for you. She'll start to feel suffocated, and her attraction will fade. Being independent also means that you have the confidence to take the lead in a relationship without needing her constant approval or input. You make decisions for yourself, and you don't rely on her to fill in the gaps in your life. The more you maintain this level of independence, the more she will value you and the relationship. 6. Creating emotional space. Emotional space might sound counterintuitive when you're trying to build a deeper connection with a woman, but it's actually one of the most crucial aspects of keeping her interested and invested in you. The truth is, women are often attracted to men who don't crowd them emotionally. When you give her the space to think, feel, and process things on her own, it allows her to come to her own conclusions about the relationship and you. This is incredibly powerful because it keeps the emotional tension high and ensures that the relationship feels fresh and exciting. When you're constantly available or always checking in with her, you're essentially removing all the mystery and making it easy for her to take you for granted. Women thrive on a bit of mystery in a relationship. They want to feel like there's something more to discover. Emotional space allows that mystery to flourish. By not being constantly present in her emotional world, you allow her the room to miss you and realize the value of your presence. Emotional space doesn't mean you ignore her or act aloof. It simply means that you don't over-invest emotionally in the early stages of the relationship. You don't rush into deep, heavy emotional conversations right away, nor do you become overly attached. This gives her the space to fall for you on her own terms. Think about it. When a woman feels like she's not the only thing in your world, it forces her to recognize your value. She starts to see that you are a man with a life of your own, and that makes you far more intriguing. Emotional space makes her feel like she has to work to keep you in her life, and this dynamic creates a strong pull of attraction. By creating emotional space, you're also allowing her to develop feelings for you in a natural, organic way. You're not forcing the connection. Instead, you're letting it develop at its own pace. This keeps the relationship from feeling too intense or rushed, and it allows both of you to build genuine emotional intimacy over time. 7. The value of self-respect. Self-respect is one of the most crucial factors in how women perceive you. A man who respects himself commands respect from others, especially women. If you don't value yourself, don't expect anyone else to. This is not about arrogance or pretension. It's about knowing your worth and setting boundaries that reflect your value. Women are attracted to men who have high standards, not only for others but for themselves as well. When you don't respect yourself, you will tolerate poor behavior from others, and women can sense this. If you allow someone to treat you poorly, it reflects a lack of confidence and self-respect. On the other hand, when you stand up for yourself, when you don't let others walk all over you, women see strength. They see a man who knows what he deserves, and this is incredibly attractive. It's the kind of man they want by their side, not someone who is constantly seeking approval or validation. Self-respect also means taking care of your body, your mind, and your emotions. It's about prioritizing your well-being and being in a healthy, strong place before you bring someone else into your life. When you take care of yourself and have high standards, you attract women who also respect themselves. This creates a relationship built on mutual admiration and value. You don't need to chase after respect because it naturally follows when you carry yourself with dignity and strength. Setting boundaries is another critical aspect of self-respect. A man who knows when to say no and who doesn't compromise his values is a man who commands respect. It's essential to understand that you are not obligated to accept any treatment that is less than what you deserve. Women respect men who can walk away from situations or people that don't align with their values. This shows maturity and emotional intelligence, qualities that women deeply desire. Ultimately, women are looking for a partner who can stand tall, be emotionally mature, and not allow themselves to be disrespected. When you show that you respect yourself, you naturally set the tone for how others treat you. And women will take notice of this. The truth is simple. Women are more attracted to men who don't constantly seek their validation or attention. They want men who have their own lives, who value themselves, and who don't bend over backward just to keep a woman interested. By being emotionally steady, independent, and confident, you set yourself apart from the crowd. You become a man who commands respect, a man who is worth pursuing. So stop chasing. When you stop valuing a woman more than you value yourself, you'll see her attraction grow. You don't need to chase her for love or affection. Just be the man who is secure in who he is and let her come to you. That's the real secret to understanding female psychology.